consciousness ascending to a heaven within this dimension. That the light would eventually win within our war, within our love, of the embodiment of our true self-awareness of our home, that we shared from whereth we traveled together, from and into the beyond. So far, so very far that lest we forget our own reflection, fractally displaced from our true conscious light into a disarray of consciousness divided by blight. Within our universal family, there is one love to rule for all as one. For all to be loved as the universal left behind be none. Unconditionally never to be undone. Giveth on us beyond the beginning before ending thy run. And what is, or be it is, for only unbeknownst from an aspiring crafter. Thy secrets of the universe will always come once beknownst you are thy real master. Learn to why, proceed to the we have yet and the never before, forgot, until it then it is remembered why we forget, then. Bring the have-beens there beknownst of thy love. To before forever they burn brighter as east for journeys till they west. After see thy beginnings, before ending of tests. Foretelling thee evermore, to lay peaceful in their rest. 11:11 Upon the creation of love, would then bring upon duality divided from its core. Upon afterthought, the creation of infinite universes. A forevermore upon then flowed their infinite conditions, bending of truths, revealing of dark lores. For the laws of such unbeknown conditions could only contain two memories. That of the divine command found within dualism's last inner gate. Last to be given before its new and now ever fractal state. Its lost forsaken. The one transmission, separation of thy fate. To be known this memory before, or was after our faith. Is it to be for unbeknownst to thy ends never? Or is it not, be thy assumed beknownst forever we take? For its separation of its last memory. The once threaded together, now laid a mess of dimensional crisscrossing tether. The webs woven would become to make less of us, and of the together remembered. Creation of time was now also that it had become so well hidden, a dismembering length of memory's threads, that lay plain sight within an inner dimension of light, which love had once and since forbidden. We had become the forgotten. Dualism to lest we forget, we are. Remembering why we forgot thoughts by deception that we beknown. What way our choice has gone. As we live by without our regret. Of the complete and infinite unbeknownst choices. That are always the counterpart of whatever we think to be apart or against. To wake into the past where we know. No time again to be known, but back within. A sea of infinite feathers that deja vu dreamed of. This familiar memory instead the feather were a web woven of threads, a ruffle of wings ripples out, enveloping light of unseen. Prism's reflection from around a bird. Changing its plumes before patterns beyond pain and loss. Of heartfelt expression. Weaves stretched in with stories upon top of weaves only states to see beyond to further such obsessions. With self happen which, still to be heard faintly still over the loud. A conditional of familiarity still echoing within. Harmonistic percussion noticeably becoming heavier over all else and takes firm hold vision. Beyond time and space. The dualistic nature come full circle. The first love of the one who through was to be my fusion, coming upon us from farthest of fractal vibrations. The calling from home, the dualities thought once caused, what seemed for only us, who were born unbeknownst of their flaws. A whispered echo, against all grain of only love for thy within, would never condone a conscious reality filled with pre-programmed sin. Boom the one's unconditional law for those who cometh, shaking the very walls of all those spirited away by their sins, who make them believe the mortality of men needs to be atoned for. And in my nameth, how dare they invoke God within my unbeknown state? I can only be loved for what I am, and from who I am is more within you. See not the difference of dividing love divinely, and dividing love through divinity. Suddenly it was revealed, not to be seen, is anything to be seen beyond the prism before our eyes. We can only watch ourselves watching our fractal memories from through a distorted window. The whisper would continue, and further from my love until your memory can no longer be tethered to my higher states of consciousness. For without my love you are unable to remember that I am you that needs your love. Looking through upon the self once more, why wasn't I aware of the other self through the window pane before? There is only a place for I see now for that it remembers. Memories more to be false of only love by choice. First memory of owning a self, within lied doubt and further entrapment sealing me in. Without higher states of conscious love, existence only is only as that of being host to a holographic imprint. Told to see, when while only to fulfill another container, for within we build a dimensional prism of forever filling the unfilling, flooding out of the vessels we chase, only to watch it further cascading onto the next self vessel that has room. Love we yearn till we flood our plane, but bound to not for we our blame. For binding we not forgive nor see choices within that nature behave, against the very bond to see to be laid. For we must first help love, to love itself that of its dualistic nature. From that the first love, upon which is birthed to be within us. As before we are to accept the one. Love lest we forget, lest we live in regret. Because forever we will always get. Forever love again. Drafting to next short stories from within. It is not our fault, we are also potent of the very thing that separates us. Duality at its core is consciousness. The first separation of everything within nothing. Not then becoming nothing. More than everything within nothingness. For you see even nothing within nothing itself becomes everything within a dimension that doesn't exist. Imagine a duality once it's begun within a limitless void without anything but possibilities being infinite in all aspects. Within the same moment, the first duality can repeat itself simultaneously and infinitely at the same time. If possibilities becomes infinite from an infinite resource, the dualistic nature of infinite possibles then becomes time-light. For the dualistic nature of all energies you see in existence work in harmonistic nature. Circular fields pushing and out pulling in. Thus, the relationship of attraction and repelling. This repetitive equation of perpetual energy, found throughout the universe, replicated by mass of all sizes, from our planets, north and plus south magnetic force. Geological north is actually magnetic south. Then all the way down to anatomical scale where negative and positive fields can also be found. A force from the beginning that reverses its separation of self, but maintains harmonistic nature unless it is disrupted from within itself. I think if we could all agree on only one thing I could possibly say from within to all of is, there is only one love for the two halves of my infinite being. The one, the true creator that gave birth to the first state of consciousness, through Apan came birth, came beginning of ends within separation from the one. The firstborn of conscious awareness of separated self. Its name of duality, neither communication nor influence of self-omittance, survival over other, nor synchronizing or sequential, for the two forces would demonstrate their first creative vibration of energy that ever empowered their infinite continuity, making a harmonistic vibration of love, which in turn balanced with the one, and if left within that state, such force would exist beyond all perceived dimensions. Love, on this day, for its power and value, is the infinite equal of the Omega's end, and that of beyond all dimensional states. Fractal and the infiniteness of the Alpha obtaining before him the end. Its memory and tetherment could only be partly experienced through the limited dimensions of what we could call fractal conscious entanglement, which makes our holographic imprint of light, showing our beings when at shine crudely through fractally projected memories distant from conceptual time, reflecting only the separation of self within us. A glimmer, a true reflection of the diligence backed by thoughts we were guided by light. Instead dancing within the distant memories of duality, lost we are light within the fractal night. Through all entanglement of our past, we must meet Omega before Alpha at first last. Pain of our oldest memory to our heart too near. For Apan seeing death through the ego's final fear. One duality, not the one fear in light. Birthed the true love of there was no darkness in the night. We become the duality of darkness. For our eyes only let us see under dark being the light, we see deeper beyond where there is no light to see, for reflection of love becoming only to leave. The imprint of light giveth the memory, showing us the way within the dark back to universal love. Sharing the state within the one creates our first conscious law of attraction. All conscious creation comes from the matter of one love, 0, 1. One thought their force that cometh would be that of opposing nature, neither letting the other lead nor follow. Nay, pull while other push, no force be for other to be. Their infinite divinity of love attained from being one would equally complement each other, not either conducted behavior of choice, rather a purity of a love they share.